Hi, it's Stinson here with Waco First Home Buyers. I wanted to take a couple minutes to talk to you about the difference between selling to a real estate investor like us at Waco First Home Buyers or selling to or selling through a real estate agent, the traditional route of listing your property. First, a lot of people don't really understand the difference between the two. And the biggest difference is when working with an investor like us at Waco First Home Buyers. We're a local home buyer in the Waco or Central Texas market, and we want to buy the property directly from you. So if you have a house that you want to sell, you would contact an investor and they want to make a direct offer to you. So what their price is kind of what they'll pay you or what we would offer you. With a traditional listing, an agent's going to help you prepare the house, list the property, show it to a big audience, have people come in, accept offers or take in offers, go through a negotiation period, and then sell the property. The biggest difference is with an investor, it generally takes one meeting. You'll get an as-is cash offer on your Waco home right then at that meeting. But with a realtor or a listing, there's a process of listing it, finding out what the market's willing to pay, and then going through that entire process, which I'll get to in more detail in a minute. Agents are licensed. They're licensed and have access to the MLS, a big audience of potential buyers, syndicating your property, your private information, or your information publicly to the whole world to see. When working with an investor, they're working directly with you. It's not being broadcast, so your information is kind of more private, and the transaction's a lot more seamless. Another big difference is when working with an agent, you pay an agent in fees. So there's fees for their time on the buy side, on the sell side. When working with an investor, you don't go through all that. So let's just take a couple minutes here, and I want to talk to you specifically about the process of selling through a realtor, listing the property. First and foremost, you would need to find a realtor that you like. Generally, what I would recommend to people is to go out to your network and ask people that you know, like, and trust who they've worked with before, and work with somebody that has a proven track record from somebody that you know. If not, you can always shop around. There's Zillow, you can call local brokerages, you probably get stuff in the mail, and then you're just kind of interviewing people, right, to find somebody that you want to work with. These people, you're going to communicate with them a lot. They're going to have private access to your property. They're going to be showing people your property. You need to really like them, and most importantly, trust them and their ability to get the most money for the property, if that's what your goal is. Once you found a realtor, the realtor will come over and speak with you about their commission, their fees and their commissions, the process, and then they're going to talk to you about staging the property. How does the property show? What kind of stuff do you need to do to get ready to present the property, aka list the property? So most realtors are going to suggest that you eliminate the personal belongings in the house. Not saying you have to move out, but take down personal photos and declutter the house, like clear off countertops, clear off nightstands, tables, and really just declutter the property as much as possible. You want your potential buyers to be able to envision the house as theirs, so the less stuff that you have that's personal to you, the better. So the first step would be decluttering the property. Secondly, are there repairs that need to be made on the property? If you're selling through a traditional agent listing the property, most of the time the buyers are going to be financing the property, so there's requirements from the mortgage companies of the condition of the property. Mechanicals are a big thing. When I say mechanicals, I'm referring to the roof, the foundation, the HVAC, the electrical, the plumbing. If there's any major problems with any of those big ticket items, generally the banks won't allow the property to be financed because their asset won't be secure. So you need to repair those properties. If you're trying to get the most money possible for your home, generally you want to completely update it. What I mean by that is new flooring, new painting, very generic bland painting, gray or whites, and then updating kitchens and bathrooms and things like that. It's going to maximize your profit or maximize your offer. The best offer you're going to get is if you rehab the entire house, new mechanicals, new windows, new everything, and the house is like brand new on the inside. That's what we do. But a lot of people don't want to go through the hassle of finding contractors, negotiating with contractors, buying materials, living through a rehab, and all the uncertainty that comes with that. And the market might change while you're in the process of rehabbing the property. Once the property has been staged or repaired, the next step would be photographing the home and then listing the property, basically broadcasting it out to the world, syndicating it through a bunch of websites, promoting it, and then trying to drive as much traffic, as many people into the property as possible. That's the realtor's job. The more people, the more interest that's happening in the property, the more people that come in there, in theory, the more offers you should get and the higher price you should get. Once the property's listed, then there will be, if you have a good realtor, there'll be open houses and there'll be lots of showings and viewings. So there's a little bit of an inconvenience there that you have to leave the house if you're living there and coordinate with your realtor of when you can be there, when you can't be there, things like that. Once the viewings are coming in, then offers will start pouring in. Hopefully, ideally, you'll get a bunch of offers. Then your realtor would work with you to negotiate or help you understand the terms of the offers and help you decide which offer is your best offer. It's not always about price. There's terms there within the offer. How much money down are they going to put? Are they going to have an appraisal? Are they going to have an inspection? What's their timeline for closing? Is it contingent on them selling their other property that they're moving out of? There's a lot of variables that come and go with an offer, a traditional offer. So you need somebody that can help you navigate that. And so you just don't say, hey, I accept the highest offer, even though the terms may be really bad, or there's the opportunity for the seller to back out in termination clauses or option clauses or inspection periods, things like that. Once you've accepted the offer, then there will be an appraisal. That's when the bank determines whether or not their offer is financeable. There's a chance the properties fall out there, contracts fall out there, meaning that they offered more than the bank's willing to finance on the home. Then at that same time, generally there's an inspection. A home inspector is going to come crawl through the house and look for any problems, big or small, and tell the potential buyer of what is wrong with the property. 9 times out of 10, the buyer's contracts say they're buying the property as is, but when the inspector comes back, there'll be a whole 20, 30-page report of all these problems, and then you're negotiating whether to make repairs or give money back or take a discount off the price, things like that, or you fix the house up based on the repairs. I've done this 100 times or hundreds of times, and home inspectors always find something. That's their job. That's what they're paid to do. So they're always going to find a pretty long list, lengthy list of mostly small things, but some big items if there's problems with the house. Once all that is done, then the financing needs to go through. So the person has to be underwritten by the bank, meaning all their financials are in order, their taxes are paid, they have the money for the down payment, they have the reserves, they can afford the first year of taxes, the first year of insurance, and have reserves and decent job history and credit and all that. They typically will have a pre-approval, but they don't get fully approved until they have a property under contract. This whole process, there's no definitive guideline, but generally speaking, based on our experience, from the time of somebody meets a realtor to the time that the property is listed, probably 2 or 3 weeks, depending on the extent of repairs and staging they do. Can be a lot longer if they're rehabbing the house. Then listing the property. Right now, it's about September in 2022. Earlier in the year, properties were flying in Waco and Temple too. They were selling with a short days on market, but the market has changed now. Interest rates have gone up. If you watch the news, it's saying that the Waco or the national real estate market's coming down, all this uncertainty. So now properties are sitting for longer. So just estimate about 30 days on market. So you have 2 or 3 weeks from listing and then 30 days on market. Once the contract's accepted, generally about 30 to 45 days to get the property closed. So what a safe assumption is about 90 days from when you decide to list it to when you get it actually sold is fair, 90 to 120 days. What you're dealing with there is a lot of uncertainty and I guess you could call it a lot of hassle, right? In addition to that, there's a lot of fees. The fees generally look like this. 3% to the buyer's agent, 3% to the seller's agent, because there's 2 agents on the transaction, so 6% there. Generally, the sellers pay closing costs. We use 2% as a square, like an easy number to assume. It's probably lower, it's like 1.6 or so percent. And then there's repairs that you may have to make after inspection, and seller concessions if you don't make those repairs. Sometimes you can just say, hey, here's your whole list of repairs you want. How about I give you $10,000 at closing? And so that would come off. So let's just assume in a make-believe situation, you're selling a house for $10,000. Roughly about $8,000 of that is going to be paid in fees, closing fees and realtor fees. That's about the entire process of listing the property. Next is working with an investor rather than listing the property with a realtor. Again, it's Stenson with Waco First Home Buyers. We are direct to seller buyers of properties in Waco, Temple, and all the surrounding markets in Central Texas. When we make an offer, like a realtor, we do base the offer on the value of properties that we're seeing, what we call comparables. So we pull all the data from your local market, meaning your neighborhood, over the last 3 to 6 months, and look at what houses we're selling for and the condition of those properties. We then make some assumptions and average those numbers, and then we can determine what your house is worth in its current condition, what it could be worth fixed up, because if it's rehab, we want to look at what we call our after repaired value. So if we're able to purchase the house and fix it up, what would it be worth afterwards, the after repaired value? And how long would it take to sell? What are the days on markets? What are the number of days on market? And what's the timeline look like for that property? Is it in a very desirable area, or is it an area that sit for a long time? The investor, us at Waco First Home Buyers, we would go over those comps with you, walk the property, determine how much repairs the property needs, and then make an offer based on the condition in the local market. What you're avoiding when you work with a real estate investor is all those costs I mentioned earlier. A cash buyer, if they're a true investor, will cover all closing costs. So Waco First Home Buyers covers the closing cost, any survey fees, any fees are associated with the transaction we cover. All the seller is responsible for is liens, debts, or past due taxes on the property. What you're avoiding, again, when selling to an investor is exposure, meaning everything's done privately. If you're working with us, it would just be between myself and you. We'd look at the property, we'd talk about numbers, I'd make an offer. If you accepted the offer, we'd sign a contract. If they are a really good investor like us, they'll put $5,000 in earnest money. So if they don't perform on the contract, that $5,000 is yours. Another thing you're avoiding is uncertainty in time. If you're able to meet with a local real estate investor or a cash home buyer in the Waco area, they give you an offer. Your time is minimum. There's no time on market. It typically takes about 14 days to get the property closed with clear title. And you're eliminating all uncertainty. If you shake on an offer from us and we enter into a contract, what the price we agree upon is what you're getting at the closing table, minus any liens, mortgages, or debt. So if we offered you $100,000 and there was no debts, no past due taxes, and no liens, at the closing table you'd get $100,000, and we're willing to put $5,000 in earnest money to show you that. What you gain when working with Waco First Home Buyers in the Temple or Waco area, you gain ease of transaction. The process is very, very easy. We walk you through the entire process. The contracts are super simple. I don't have an example here, but there are 2 pages written in layman's terms that show you exactly what we're offering, how it's structured. We don't have an opt-out clause. We don't have the ability to renegotiate. We don't have the ability to get an appraisal or inspection or any of that stuff. And then we also offer additional help. We can help you find another home. My business partner owns a brokerage. My fiance is a realtor. So we have access. We own a property management company. We have access to lots of homes. We can help you, assist you in moving. We can assist in solving complicated title issues, surveying. We have estate sale people that we work with that can help you do an estate sale. If you have property that you just want to get rid of, we don't throw that away. We donate it to battered women's shelter. And most importantly, you gain certainty. Like I said, if we make a deal, that's what we're going to close on your timeline and work on your timeline. So when evaluating a real estate investor versus a listing agent, I will be honest and say that when you list a property, you're generally probably going to get more money at the end of the day, but you're going through the hassle and the uncertainty of that. With a real estate investor, if money in your pocket isn't the most important thing, if privacy or ease of transaction or certainty is the most important thing, reach out to a cash buyer in the Waco area, like Waco First Home Buyers. We'd love to answer any questions you have and help kind of walk you through these two different scenarios. You also have other options. You can list the property as is to cash buyers only. You can list a property for sale by owner if you like. There's a lot of different options that you have, and we're happy to help walk you through those different options and help you understand that. I hope this was helpful for you. I know I threw a lot of information at you. If you have questions, reach out to us. This is what we do. We talk to dozens of people every week. 9 times out of 10, we're not able to buy their property, and it's not even the right fit for us or for them. But what we do is try to educate you as much as possible and see if there's any way that we can offer any assistance or any guidance. And if we're able to help you sell your Waco house, your Waco property, whether it's a distressed Waco property or a distressed property in Temple, if we're able to help you with that property, whether we're buying it or not, that's what we're in the business of doing, is trying to help others. I hope you have a great day and look forward to hearing from you. Bye-bye.